Hello everybody, it's good to see you today. I thought I'd do something a little different because I thought you'd be getting tired of reading my long devotionals by now. So I thought I'd make it easier on you and put devotional on video. But the downside is that even though you just get to sit back and listen now, is that you do have to look at me in my ugly shirt. Yeah, the price of ease. I was thinking about a story in the Bible that I'm sure that you're all familiar, and it's Jesus, the 5 loaves and the 2 fish. Jesus is awesome. He went about healing the lame, causing the blind to see, the deaf to hear. But it was more than those miracles. It was the words that he spoke. They were words of life. They were words of truth. And when people heard him, they heard something different. They saw and heard a man that had compassion upon them, had unconditional love toward them. They were drawn to him. They were attracted to him. So they followed him. And one day we look up and Jesus is on a farm somewhere in the countryside, some remote place. Over 5,000 men, not including the women and children, had followed him to this place. The disciples looked up and they saw, it was like overwhelming, I'm sure, and they knew they were hungry, and they said, Jesus, send them off. Send them into the city to get something to eat. Jesus had other plans, and I think he was saying, well, if I send them off, they may not be back, so that was good. But I think he wanted to teach them a lesson that day. And so he said, no, you feed them. They were probably thinking, what? We're going to feed them? And it was an impossible thing because they saw that they didn't have the resources. They saw that they couldn't do it. They knew that even if they went to McDonald's and went through the value menu line, that it still cost them 99 cents a piece, which was several thousands of dollars. That day, I don't think Jesus was going to do it that way. He was wanting to do something deeper, and he was wanting to do something that we could see today that we could apply to our lives. The disciples, I'm sure, scurried around because they wanted to please Jesus. They wanted to find the resources they did have. They finally came up with 5 loaves and 2 fish. Oh my goodness. They were probably thinking, this is it. I'm sure they were embarrassed and thinking, okay, Lord, this is what we got. They were thinking, this is never going to be enough. But Jesus looks at things differently. He has a different multiplication table. He knows that 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4. 2 plus 2 can equal anything it needs to equal. So he blessed the food, and he asked the Father, I'm sure, to multiply it and to meet the needs that were there that day, to take the things they did have and make it more than enough. That day he divided the people into groups, and he fed each and every one of them. And after they'd all eaten and were full, he took up 12 baskets full of scraps of what they didn't eat. So not only did he meet the needs, he did more than what he was supposed to do. He did more than enough. And I think that's what he wants us to see today, is when we take what's in our hands and we put it into his, it becomes more than enough. Our resources are limited. Our strength is limited. The opinions of other people, their advice are limited. But the things that Jesus has, his resources, his riches, his bank account, it's always enough. It's always more than enough. I think that's why he says, cast your care upon me because I care for you. I can do something about it. Don't be anxious about anything. Don't worry. But through prayer and supplications with thanksgiving, let your request be made known unto me. And I'll give you peace that passes understanding. And I can give you that peace because I can do something about it. When it's in my hands, you can rest assured that I am going to do something about it. I'm going to do something in your lives. Today, when we look at our resources, we know our strength's not enough. We know that what we got in our bank account may not be enough to pay a bill. We know that giant that we've been focusing on, we don't have the strength or power within ourselves to defeat that enemy or to defeat that situation or to go through. Sometimes things just seem overwhelming, and that's why we have Jesus as our Lord. He loves us. He has compassion upon us, and he wants to help us. So let's take those things today and let's ask him to bless what we do have and make it more than enough. You know, I'm still believing the best in you always. God bless you.